Welcome to the deep dive. We're here to, cut through the noise and really get to the heart of what's moving the needle.
And lately, there's been so much noise around AI, hasn't there? That buzz is everywhere.
It really is. But today, we're digging into something that feels, well, genuinely different. Something that might actually be shifting the center of gravity in applied AI.
You're talking about OpenAI's GPT-5. Launched, just yesterday, August 7th, 2025.
Exactly. And the feeling around this launch, it just seems distinct, doesn't it?
It really does. It doesn't feel like just another step up. It feels more generational. Sam Altman's quote comparing it to a PhD who never sleeps really stuck with me.
Huh. A PhD who never sleeps. That sets a pretty high bar, right? No coffee breaks needed?
Definitely sets the stage.
So our mission today is to get past the headlines. We want to understand what makes GPT-5 tick. What's actually new under the hood.
And crucially, what it means for you, the listener, in your day-to-day work, right?
Yeah.
Practical applications, the future of jobs.
Precisely. We'll look at the core ideas, the benchmark numbers, see if they hold up how it's being used already, and even the economics, which is pretty fascinating.
Okay, let's jump in. Where should we start? Maybe the architecture.
Yeah, good call. The big change seems to be this unified stack. ChatGPT now just is GPT-5, basically.
Right, and the key piece there is what they're calling the smart router. That seems to be where the real innovation lies.
That's what I'm hearing too. The material we looked at had this great
Analogy, like a studio band. Not just one musician, but a whole group.
Yeah, I liked that one. It helps picture how it manages different tasks.
So can you break that down? Who's playing what in...
Right. A much denser network that kicks in for the really tough problems. Things like those AIME math proofs, the super hard high school math competition stuff.
Okay, yeah. Or complex legal briefs, things that need real reasoning power.
Precisely. And the router is the conductor.
The conductor, got it. So it decides who plays.
Yeah, it's a lightweight policy. It looks at your prompt. How complex is it? How much context is there? Did you say things step by step?
Oh, so it picks up on hints too. Clever.
Right, and then it
Sends the job to either the fast path or the deep path.
So for the user, it just feels natural. Quick chats are quick. Hard questions get more thought automatically.
That's the idea. Fast.
totally opt-in. You control it. But it means GPT-5 can remember things you've told it before. Like, maybe you always want metric units.
Or details about a project you're working on, like your startup's tech stack. It remembers that across sessions.
Exactly. Days later, even. And you can wipe it clean anytime, obviously, for privacy.
That persistent memory. That sounds incredibly useful, almost like it starts to get you.
It builds context over time, yeah.
Yeah.
And it goes beyond just remembering. It also has built-in agentic capabilities.
Tool use.
Right, this is the part where it can actually do things for you, like check your email.
Yeah, you could tell it, scan my inbox for emails about Project X, draft some slides based on them. It's definitely moving in that direction. But, talk is one thing. The benchmarks are where you see the real muscle.
Okay, let's get into those numbers. The proof is in the pudding, right? What are the highlights?
OpenAI focused on 3 key areas in their data. First, academic reasoning.
How did it do on those tough math problems, the AA benchmark?
It scored, get this, 99.6% with tools.
99.6, wow. So it's
Yeah.
basically acing college-level math.
Pretty much. It beat GPT-4o significantly and just nudged past Gemini 2.5 Pro. It's reclaimed the math crown, operating at a really elite level.
Incredible. Okay, what about software engineering? That's a huge use case.
On SWE-bench, which tests coding and bug fixing, it hit 74.9%.
Which is good, but what's the catch?
Well, here's the thing. It achieved that score using fewer tokens and fewer tool calls than previous models.
Ah, so it's more efficient, faster code, lower costs for dev teams.
Exactly. Faster shipping, smaller inference bills. It's a double win.
Makes sense. And the third area, multimodal, handling images, audio, that sort of thing.
Yep. On MMMU, which is like a college-level visual reasoning test suite, it got 84.2%.
What does that mean in practice? What could it do?
Well, the demo showed it solving diagram puzzles, reading charts someone drew by hand, even looking at radiology images and describing them. Someone said, with a doctor-like bedside manner.
Okay, so it's genuinely versatile across different types of data. Vision, text, maybe audio too.
Seems like it. Really comprehensive multimodal understanding.
So the numbers are impressive, but what's it like to actually use it? What are people saying?
The anecdotes are really compelling. Take coding, for example. The Cursor guys, the AI code editor,
Yeah.
they demoed GPT.
Having a tireless mentor for onboarding.
It really shifts pair programming towards like a thought partnership.
Profoundly, yeah. And it's not just code. Research is another area.
Like that immunologist example, Dr. Unitas.
Right. She fed it these complex cell analysis tables, flow cytometry data,
Okay.
and GPT-5 apparently spotted a variable that had been overlooked. It even predicted some experimental outcomes.
Before they did the experiments.
Yeah. And the lab results later confirmed its prediction. That's pretty wild.
That is wild. Finding things humans might miss or take ages to see. Is that happening elsewhere?
Seems to be. Similar stories are popping up in finance, marketing, biotech.
Yeah.
Spotting patterns, generating hypotheses.
What about people who aren't coders or scientists?
Yeah.
Product teams, designers.
Huge impact there, too. Designers describing an app and getting back interactive prototypes. Product managers feeding it customer feedback and getting prioritized roadmaps.
HR using it to summarize dense policy documents into something readable.
Exactly. Making complex information accessible faster.
It sounds like the common thread is trust. People are finding it more reliable.
That's a big part of it. Less hallucination, better source citing, asking clarifying questions if things are ambiguous.
So it's moving away from that just give an answer, fix it later approach.
It seems so. More towards let's pause, make sure I understand, and answer. That's a big psychological step for users trusting the output, more dependable.
Which brings us to the inevitable comparisons. GPT-5 versus Claude versus Gemini. How does it stack up?
Yeah, the competitive landscape. The comparison table we saw was pretty clear.
What's the gist?
Is it the undisputed champ?
Well, it seems Claude 4.1 might have a slight edge in very specific, narrow retail tool use tasks, probably due to Anthropic's alignment.
It's a huge difference.
Right, so the takeaway seems to be if you need one really capable, versatile model across different jobs, GPT-5 kind of owns the value axis right now.
That pricing is aggressive. It feels strategic.
Absolutely. OpenAI keeps slashing costs.
Yeah.
GPT-5 cuts the GPT-4o input price in half. And then there's the mini and nano tiers.
Even cheaper.
Way cheaper, like 0.25 first per million for mini and just 7.55 cents for nano.
5 cents per million tokens. That's practically making
Intelligence a commodity.
It's getting close. It forces competitors to think beyond just raw capability and focus on niche value or integrations.
Do we have an example of what that cost difference is?
Or marketing.
just fundamentally changes the economics of building AI features.
Totally. Intelligence is getting radically cheaper.
Now, OpenAI is careful not to shout AGI from the rooftops.
Yeah, they're usually quite measured about that.
But these capabilities, routing its own thinking, using tools, remembering context, being affordable enough for constant use, It does feel like it's pushing the boundaries of what we expect AI to do, doesn't it?
It definitely nudges the Overton window of possibility for AI. It expands what seems achievable.
We're seeing practical things like drafting a complex legal contract, maybe pulling cases from Westlaw automatically.
Right, inserting the citations, formatting it all nicely, complex, multi-step tasks.
And the context windows help there too, right? They're massive now.
Huge. 400,000 tokens for input. You could feed it an entire massive annual report like a 10K or a huge code base.
And the output limit.
Also massive. 128,000 tokens. It can write entire white papers or really long reports, not just summaries.
So maybe not full AGI, but it's moving AI from being just a tool on the side
To being more like a coworker, deeply woven into how things get done.
And that's rewriting workflows everywhere. We talked about developers. What about other knowledge workers?
Analysts feeding it spreadsheets, asking for insights, asking why about the patterns it finds. It's like brainstorming with a really knowledgeable, tireless colleague.
Creative teams, too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Co-drafting book chapters, storyboarding, iterating on designs, and fact-checking seems way more viable now.
Because the hallucination rate is down.
Way down. Reportedly into low single digits. That's a game changer for reliability.
And in science, we mentioned the predictions. Labs using it for simulations.
Running simulated experiments, predicting results, flagging weird data points. That Exactly. If drafting or basic coding becomes trivial, managers will expect more from people on originality, judgment, critical thinking. The bar moves up.
Makes sense. But maybe there's an upside in how it helps connect ideas.
That's a really interesting point. You can feed it such diverse information, psychology papers, database logs, and ask it to synthesize or design something complex, like an ethical test.
So it can bridge disciplines, find connections we might miss.
It seems capable of threading together disparate data, surfacing trade-offs. It could mean less time spent just prepping information for meetings and more time actually making decisions based on it.
Okay, so for people listening who want to actually build with this, start using it. Is there a roadmap?
The material had a pretty useful Quickstart playbook, some really practical tips.
Like what? What stood out?
A big one was sketch the workflow, not the prompt. Think about the whole sequence of tasks you want it to do, not just one isolated question.
Right, leverage the agentic side. Makes sense. What else?
Choosing the right flavor, standard, mini, or pro, depending on whether you need speed, low cost, or deep thinking.
And managing the cost, even though it's cheaper. Token budgeting.
Yeah, keeping inputs concise, monitoring your usage, also grounding with retrieval.
Using a vector database to feed it relevant information.
Exactly. Cuts down hallucinations massively by giving it the right context. And testing. Unit tests for prompts.
Testing prompts like code. That's disciplined.
It has to be. Plus, getting user feedback, monitoring performance latency, cost, errors, and rolling it out incrementally. Start read-only first.
That structured approach seems key to getting real value.
For an API bill, under $100K a month, the ROI can be massive at scale.
Okay, but we need to be balanced. What are the downsides? The sharp edges, as they say.
Right, the red team audits found things. Subtle hallucinations can still happen, especially in niche, high-stakes areas like, say, pharmacology details.
So verification is still critical for important stuff.
Absolutely. Ground it with trusted sources. Don't just take its word for it on medical or legal matters.
And it can sound overly confident.
Yeah, the overconfidence bias. It sounds sure of itself even when it might be uncertain. So you need to demand citations and double-check.
What about the memory feature? Any risks there?
Potential privacy surprises if you're not careful about what it remembers and how that data is governed. The advice seems to be, start with memory off until you have clear policies.
And the tool use. Can that go wrong?
Oh yeah. If it's making a chain of API calls and one fails or returns weird data, the whole process can break down. You need error handling fallback plans.
So checks and balances are needed for automated chains.
Definitely. But the feeling is these are solvable issues, not fundamental roadblocks. You just need good design and validation.
Looking ahead then, what's next beyond GPT-5?
Well, there are hints about memory getting even more sophisticated, maybe writing to external databases, blurring the lines between tuning and just using the model.
Interesting. And what was that hive mind concept?
Oh yeah, that sounds fascinating. An orchestrator managing potentially dozens of specialized GPT-5 instances.
Like a team of AIs.
Kind of. They'd sort of vote on the best answer in real time. Early experiments suggest it could cut hallucinations by another 40%.
Another 40% reduction. Wow.
Yeah, potentially huge, but of course...
more integrated, wider context, memory. It's less like an add-on tool.
And more like a capable coworker you can deeply integrate into workflows.
Exactly. So the question really isn't if you should use AI anymore.
It's which processes can you hand off to something like GPT-5 starting now, this quarter.
Right. Intelligence is becoming an API call, pay as you go. It's not magic.
It's a power tool.
A powerful one. And its value really multiplies when teams actually pick it up and figure out how to use it effectively.
So the challenge to you, the listener, is maybe identify those workflows.
Start routing them through GPT-5, measure what happens.
I suspect people will quickly start wondering how they manage without this tireless, context-aware PhD helping out.